Hello there. Welcome to For the Fans. I am Kevin, and I'm here today with CJ. And we are going to be talking about the eviction from week 10. What a week, CJ.
What's up, Kevin? You look exquisite tonight.
I was going to say that to you. I
Too
was
late.
going to say that to you. Oh, man. You know what's so
You
funny?
can hit me with the "you look good."
Well, that's what's so funny because people were mad. They're like, why did Corey lie? Because they were all doing an exquisite thing, and then she caught him off guard, and then he hit her with the good, and then he told everyone I did the exquisite thing like everybody else. Like, of course, like that's why you lie.
I did what we did.
I did what we all did. We all did the thing. I did the thing too.
Why did he lie? Because it's a game about lying. Why would he tell the truth now?
Right. Well, not that. Like, we all did the thing. Remember, we were all doing the thing. And then we didn't do the thing right here, It was very simple, very easy to me. What a great week, what a fun week, what an exquisite week in the Big Brother house. Before we really get into it, CJ, as you know, everyone needs to subscribe to the podcast. When we get to 250 subscribers to the channel, the YouTube channel, we will be giving away a golden power of veto. So get signed up.
Yup.
All right, CJ. We're going to be talking about here the veto episode and the eviction episode. We're going to talk about Bowie Jane's HOH reign in general. Do you think it was a success or not a success?
I think it was a success for the house in the sense that they got Cameron out like they've been trying to do for the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think it's what's best for her game.
Okay.
But she thinks it's what's best for her game because she thinks she's aligned with Matt and Jag. And as we saw throughout the episode, as we get into, everybody thinks they're aligned with Matt and Jag the same way that 4 weeks ago everyone thought they were aligned with Cirie.
And Cirie and Izzy and Jarrett. Now, the thing that's interesting is when Bowie is talking, she says that, I'm with Matt and Jag. When Matt and Jag are talking, they say that they're the final five they want to get down to was them two, Bowie, Felicia, and Cirie. So basically the older ladies and them two.
Yeah, it's funny because they very much, without saying it, are talking about they want to be with the people they think they can beat in a physical
I want to ping pong this thing back and forth. Mm-hmm. I want to popcorn this thing back and forth between the two of us.
And it's funny because I had a conversation with the wife as we were watching the episode, and she's been upset most of the season because the dudes just have no respect for the women's games in this house. And it's funny because I'm like, you're 100% correct. The dudes all think they can steamroll the women, but the women have only won 3 competitions. Yeah. So I understand why they want to go up against the women. And at this point, I'm kind of hoping that the 5 women just band together.
One thing that's super interesting is that like the men have won all these comps, right?
Yep.
Women have won 3 comps total.
Yes.
And I was talking to one of my casual friends, Cheyenne, and she said, this is set up for an older lady to win. And I said, I'm not quite sure about that. And she said, just look at the layout. They would have been gone a long time ago. And I was like, just because they're here doesn't mean it's set up for them to win. But then her and her husband are super casuals. And then they're like, well, it's rigged for Cirie. And I was like, I'll talk to you guys later. So
it's funny because I don't think it's rigged for them to win, but I think it's set up for one of them to make it to the final a la Big D. Where it's just
not even Big D. BB9, that Shelly or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
She got to the end with Big Baller and Matt or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's off the top of my head. I can't remember those. I don't know if those are the exact names, but that was rigged and that was set up for them to take her down towards the end because they knew that they could beat her and it would come down to just the 2 of them. So
and you see this all the time where people bring along someone that they know they can beat at near the end so that they can sit next to their true final 2.
Yeah. It was Sheila. I was close. Sheila. She was at the time 45 and the oldest woman in the house. Side note, BB9, crazy season. That was like a couple season. They paired them all up in couples. She was 45. The next person closest to her age was Big Baller, and he was 29.
Wasn't that the last writer strike season?
That was the last writer strike season.
I remember that season because
Terrible season.
For those who weren't watching back then, they actually put them with. They all took a matchmaker test, and then they got paired with their perfect match, and that's how the game started. That was the twist until I'm pretty sure they made it to jury.
Yeah, and then in that season there was also an actual couple, but they paired them with other people.
Yep.
What a season BB9 was. Big Baller, shouts to you. Went to jail for drugs. Ran a drug ring with that money.
Nice.
That did happen. Big Brother doing what they can. So let's get back into these two episodes. Bowie Jane wins the HOH. She puts up Felicia and Cirie. Bowie Jane's real target is Cirie from jump.
Yeah, she kept reiterating, please don't use the veto.
And they're like, yeah. So how do we get Bowie Jane to put someone else up? And so we see in the veto episode, names are drawn for the veto competition. Cameron does not play in his first veto, I think, of the season.
Well, I mean, when you're sitting on the block all those weeks, it's kind of hard not to play in the veto.
Right. And so he's either on the block or HOH. So he plays in his he does not play in his first veto. So he plays in our first veto. The moment he's not playing, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Everybody was using the veto except for Bowie.
Correct. Everyone was using it. And so with everyone using the veto, Cameron had no chance. This is how you backdoor someone. This is a backdoor. Now, mind you, Bowie Jane was not trying to backdoor him. She wanted Cirie to go home.
But she was also gunning for the veto so that she can keep noms the same because nobody else was going to.
Correct. And with the scramble verse, we get a whole scramble twisted turvy thing. We get Zingbot in this first episode. Zingbot, CJ, he was back, but he was nice.
Nice Zingbot, but we also got Zingbot as Otev.
Because it's the scramble verse, and Otev was
zinging everyone.
The Zingbot was Otev.
You know, of the four multiverses, I think the scramble verse is by far the weakest.
Yeah, I think so too. It doesn't really bring much. It just mixes things up, but which isn't a lot.
And I don't like the whole multiverse thing. Like, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to capitalize on all of the comic book inspired multiversal IP we've been getting in the last few years.
Slash bringing Cirie into the game.
Yeah, but what verse did she come from?
The Survivor verse, CJ.
But that's not one of the four in the house.
Right, but there's another multiverse. The multiverse of madness, some would say.
That's a different IP.
Is it?
It's owned by Disney.
The Doctor Strange version of it is. So
are we in a different verse?
No one knows. But one thing we did get, though, we got some zingers. What did you think of these things? So the zings that we got, I'm trying to see if I can find some zings on the internet. Because we get some zings from the Zingbot. He tells Blue that her catchphrases are trash, and so is her fashion sense.
Yep. Which, fair.
You think so? I think she dresses fine. Catchphrases, terrible. Terrible catchphrases.
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind the fashion sense. Her hair, kind of, but her clothes, whatever. But her catchphrases that she's trying, she needs to stop trying to make fetch happen. That's what she's doing in the DR.
I'm telling you, man. The DR Blue is terrible. Real Blue, decent player, decent person, very nice.
What I get in the feeds when I'm watching Blue on on the feeds during the day. Perfectly normal person. Not what I would have expected based off of what they present her as in the show.
It's so weird because she's such a vastly different person. It's not close.
But it makes me wonder, like, is she trying to play a character so that she can get on the challenge?
I don't think for the challenge. I think it's for like her branding. I think it's for social media.
Which, so you think she wants to leave this and be an influencer?
I mean, I think she is an influencer. I think like she's a brand consultant or something.
Brand strategist.
A brand strategist. Yeah. I think the brand that she's strategizing is her own.
Yeah, I mean, she can get some free shit and market it on her Insta after this.
And it's like this kitty. I mean, the kitty thing is going to be a thing that she's going to market. She's definitely going to have a T-shirt that says "girl." ...
Yep,
for sure.
I'm surprised she didn't come into the house for one.
You know who? Remember? Shouts to Swaggy C. That dude came in with merch. Like, that's the move. That's why he makes tons of money now. Here's some things I found them. Okay, so America, danger. There's a thief among us. America, you're under arrest for robbing the cradle. A zing. What do you think of that one?
He took the low-lying fruit.
I think he took the low-lying fruit for a lot of these.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, America, you could have talked about the way she kisses. You could have talked about her gameplay, but no, he hit her with the Corey being 5 years younger, not even like crazy young.
Yeah, it's funny because like she's in. You could have talked about her being in there thinking she's playing, but Corey's doing everything.
Right, but he's not. She's playing too.
No, she is, but that's not the perception in the house.
Right, like they could have. There's so many things they could have done. But they went with the low hanging fruit on that one.
Yeah.
The next one we got right here, and this one didn't even make sense because it doesn't work. What do you think brought the bigger wrinkles in the game? The multiverse twist or Felicia? Zing. She's not wrinkly, dog.
I was waiting for Felicia just to say black don't crack.
She's not. She's not wrinkly.
No.
It's weird. Like, I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
It was weak. I think they spent all of their time and energy on the Corey song, and it ran out of time for other jokes.
We'll hold on to the Corey one because the next one we get is for Jag. Jag, your gameplay reminds me of a sports car, not a Jaguar, more like a Borvette, and Aston Moron, and a lame Borghini. Zing.
That one was fine.
I thought that one was trash too. I think that one could have been better. You could have talked about his gameplay, him being evicted, and then coming back in the house.
About him trying to find those 10 votes.
Or something like, if you want, I mean, here's an easy one. Here's a layup. If you want to talk about him being lame and boring, say, Jag, you got evicted from the house. I don't know if you know, but you came back in. Why haven't you played like that? Like, it could have been the same thing.
Yeah.
Get him with him being boring, but use him going home and saying, welcome back.
The funny thing is Jag thinks Jag's playing a great game.
Jag's not playing a bad game. Jag was playing a bad game.
Yeah.
Now Jag's playing an okay game.
I don't think Jag's even playing. I think being associated with Matt is immensely helping Jag. But I think Matt is the one carrying, is floating his boat in the game. I think if Matt were to go home, Jag would be lost again.
Okay, I wouldn't disagree with that. I can see that. Yep. Tracy thinks that Jag is playing a messy game, and it is kind of messy, but it's he's doing something. But if they said boring, sure, but I wouldn't say that's much. Um, Next we get blues. Kitty kitty purr, boots down, slay, blue. The only thing worse than your catchphrases is your fashion sense. Zing, zing,
Yeah.
zing, zing, zing. We already went through that. Kitty kitty purr, trash. Catchphrases, trash.
Yep.
Fashion sense, it's fine. Bowie Jane, what's the difference between a great white shark and Bowie Jane? One's an Australian creature whose scary teeth terrify people, and the other one's a shark. Zing. Don't get me started on them pigtails. Zing.
That one was funny.
Oh man, she was just smiling. Everybody at the end was like talking about her teeth. They were leaning in on it. It was great.
Which one was the one that said her teeth enter the room before she does?
Jag said that. I think Jag said that.
Yeah.
That
one was good.
Matt, I can see why you hit it off with a cardboard cutout. Similar in taste, dumb blonde zing. That was not very good.
That was dumb.
He's playing.
I'm glad they didn't go for a deaf joke, though.
I'm glad they didn't either. The next one, Cameron, congratulations. You received a military promotion while in the Big Brother house. You gone from lieutenant loser to major fucking tool. Nosing, I'm being serious.
And the rest of the house said, yep.
Yeah. I love the cutaways to like everyone being like, yeah, that one's about right. That one's right. That one's
on brand.
That's when we got to the last three zings. And these are the three best zings to me.
Yes.
Suri zing. Suri, the past few weeks have been hard on you. A lot of your good friends left the game, leaving you alone. But that's okay. Now you can finally do what you do best. Lose while on an island. Zing. The tribe has spoken. Zing.
She was so mad. It was hilarious.
The moment she said that wasn't funny, it was hilarious. That's hilarious. Like, you're right. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I mean, that was really funny.
I'm surprised she didn't curl up in a ball with PTSD.
Too soon.
Or she could be like, I won traders though.
Yeah. This one's a great one. McCall, watching you play Big Brother has had a major impact on my life. I've gone from me bored to a 6-week me coma zing. Oh wait, McCall was so under the radar, I didn't realize she got evicted. Not in the house, zing. Catching strays at the crib.
That was hilarious.
Catching strays at the crib.
When we started talking about her, we were like, why is she getting zinged? She ain't even there. And then he brought it back. I was like, oh, yeah, that was perfect.
Yep, catching stray zings. And then the last one, man, this one, I mean, he just eviscerated this dude.
Yes.
For Corey. America, your name is so patriotic. It makes me want to sing a song the whole country can get behind. Corey's not beautiful under any skies, short like a piece of grain. A thin mustache, if you call it that, it causes my eyes pain. America, America, did you have a lobotomy? Here's a tiny man, can't get worth a damn. Let's throw him in the sea. Zing. Wow.
I agree with Corey. As a person, I am humiliated. But as a BB fan, I got a whole song. I'm stoked.
I mean, that was like, I don't normally see someone get bodied by Zingbot. And he bodied Corey. Like, he just kept, it's like he got him in a corner in a boxing match and just kept hitting him with the uppercuts. until the ref got in there and pushed them off.
I was waiting for somebody to throw in the towel.
Oh man.
It's funny because after that, Corey should have been like, I don't got to be voted out to leave.
Rough, man. And then like you hit him with the mustache, you hit him with the America must have a lobotomy. Like he's a terrible kisser. Like
hey, when he said the mustache, I was like, man, I've been thinking that for weeks. Like, I'm glad somebody said something. Because apparently America's telling him it looks good. Like,
well, she's telling him it makes him look older, and it does make him look older. But that's how it grows, man. It is what it is. Then he hits him with him being short like a piece of grain. I'm short. I felt bad for him. I was like, I feel it. I'm like Zingbot. You don't have to hit him in the like. That's tough. That's tough, Zingbot.
Well, I mean, most people would be below the belt, but that would have been right on the nose for him.
Oh no, that one would have been above his head. He would have been over his head because it was a little high. But that is and then just like hit him in the end with the he's a tiny man, can't kiss worth a damn. Like you didn't need those. You didn't get off him, Zingbot. Get off him.
Well, you say can't kiss worth a damn, but America admits to washing machine kisses. Just
right. And we left her alone on that. We left her alone. They said because we saving it all for Corey. We better hit Corey.
So if she admits to not knowing how to kiss, and she only learned last year, and she taught Corey how to kiss, how bad was Corey?
Probably as bad as she was,
if not worse.
Yeah, from the beginning, and she's like, "Let's bring it back to like where I'm at in terms of this kissing."
Yeah,
and so she may still not be good, but it's like working for her. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is.
Man, so those were the things. And then we get into the competition. Now, strategy, loved it. Yeah, everyone knows that you got to get like a little stockpile, right? So how would you play if me, you, and 4 other people are in OTEV? How are you playing OTEV?
I'm making my stockpile as far away as I can, so that people don't go to my pile, because while I'm making my pile, I only have to be faster the first time. Like I can't come in last the first time. After that, I can make that run every single time, because I'm running, grabbing a picture and running back while other people are searching. Like it's amazing to me that you don't really see anybody making the stockpile, but it shows that none of them are really super fans who know how this works.
I disagree. I think a lot of them, I think both Felicia and Jag had a stockpile. What I would be doing if I'm playing is I'm coming off the slide and I'm going to Jag stockpile.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing.
I mean, if you realize that it's there.
And of course I realized it was there, because as I was looking, I saw him putting them together.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I just got to be I'm watching everyone as I'm looking to. Right?
Yeah.
So as I go, especially on like the second to last one, or third to last one, I'm coming off the ramp and running right to his stockpile to grab it so he doesn't have it.
But you got to be faster than him.
Yeah, but I'm going to be faster than him because I'm not doing it the first time. And I'm saying that I'm going to be faster than him because he knows that his stockpile's there, but he doesn't know that I know his stockpile's there and that I'm going for it. So as I'm coming off the slide, he thinks I'm going to be running somewhere else, but I'm going to be making a beeline for his pile.
Yeah, you just got to sprint. You got to beat him in a sprint, though.
Yeah, it's a quick sprint. Got it. Back up the wall. And probably when I grab it, I probably take the rest of his and throw it back in the water. Like
yeah,
so that way,
you definitely take the one that you need and then knock over the rest.
Then knock them all. Then strew the other ones.
Yeah.
Sucker, go find some more.
Evil laugh.
Yeah, because that's. I mean, because you gotta. If someone's stockpiling, you gotta disrupt that pile.
Yes,
that's what you gotta do.
Well, also anyone who's stockpiling, you're trying to make them go out this round so that you can continue.
Right.
Because they're just gonna make a new stockpile.
Correct. So that's something that I would definitely keep in mind if I'm in OTEV.
But that's why my pile would be as far as possible, so that people don't mess with it, because I just have to run there and then run back while other people are actually searching.
Yeah, and I think if I did make a stockpile, I would have made it like Jag did, where he just like knocked a bunch of them out the water.
Yeah.
And then like, because we've seen in other years, they've like piled them together.
But they
And
weren't in other years, they're not always necessarily in the water.
true. So we get 3 out for second. She made it past the first round.
Which surprised me. I thought her and Felicia would be the first 2 out.
Yeah, nope. She made it out the first round. Then she had the wrong name.
Yep.
America was out next. Then Matt. Then Matt, I think.
No, it was Felicia. I thought Sari went out first, America went out second, Felicia went out third.
Yeah,
Matt went out
Matt,
fourth.
and then
And then
in
Bowie.
the end is Bowie Jane versus Jag, and Jag pulls out the win. He's a new veto holder, and now it's time to get the plan in action. But Bowie Jane needs a reason. She needs a reason to put up Cameron because he's always been decently good to her.
Yep.
And Cameron goes and he basically tells, they didn't show it in the episode, but they show him telling Bowie Jane, I can't believe you're doing this to me after I've kept you protected. And this is a big thing that she said afterwards. She says, you didn't keep me protected. I've kept myself protected. I was never an option for anyone to go up. And she is correct.
Yeah. When people think she's sleepwalking through the game, they're like, sure, she can stay.
Right. And so by trying to sell her on that, Cameron feels like this is the reason why he's going up. Question for you, CJ. How do you feel about these 2-part veto episodes?
I generally like them. The reason why I didn't like this one is because it felt anticlimactic when you run into the Thursday episode and it doesn't even pick up on that conversation. It goes straight into Cameron talking to Matt and Jag and then the veto meeting.
Mm-hmm. Now, the reason they're doing this is because the veto meeting is on Monday afternoons.
Yep.
And with the episode coming out on Tuesday, there's not enough time to get the edit done, I assume. So they're doing the edit because normally on Wednesday they have 2 days to get the edit done, which is another reason why you usually don't get a lot of talk from the Monday morning, because it's coming up on the time for the footage in terms of the edit. One of the reasons why I love this this show is because it's in real time. I understand the need for it. I'm not too mad about the fact that they do it this way because I understand the need for it. But I think you're right that they lose some of the suspense because the edits are a little disjointed.
Well, the other thing is like, if you're going to leave it with the cliffhanger of Bowie saying, I protected myself, give me more Bowie to open on Thursday for why she's making this move instead of Cameron talking to Matt and Jag and like Bowie being an afterthought. Or if you're not going to do that, then give me the actual speeches from the veto meeting, because the way that they cut that, it just came across as very matter of fact of Jag, I'm using the veto. Bowie, I'm putting up Cameron. Done. Like,
speaking of, because give me those veto speeches, because I know that both Sari and Felicia said something to Corey. That's now the running joke. Everybody's calling out Corey. We missed that part. They didn't show that. But Tracy wants to know, do you think this was a good move for Bowie to put up Cameron?
As I said earlier, like, I don't think this is a good move for Bowie. I understand why she did it, because Cameron came across as a condescending prick when he's like, I protected you this whole time, when, as she said, she was never an option. But Cameron was never looking to get rid of Bowie. And the only reason Bowie makes this move is because she thinks she's in with Matt and Jag, but she's been, through no choice of her own, in with Cameron since day one. So you might as well stick with the dude that keeps winning shit. And that's why I don't think it was necessarily the best move for Bowie.
So I think this is a fantastic move for Bowie. For these reasons. A, She gets a move on her resume. That's what Eddie says right here in the chat. Should be forced to take credit for getting Cam out since no one wants the blood. She's got a little resume now. It's a good move for her resume-wise. Resumebuilder.com. It's a good move for that. Secondly, Cameron, though protecting Bowie, she cannot beat Cameron in the end.
No.
If he takes her to the end, she takes her to the end. She couldn't beat him in the end.
But as we talked about, I don't think anyone in the house could have beaten Cameron if Cameron made final two because of the narrative he would have had.
Correct. I think there's a couple people that could have, but I think for the most part, Cameron was not drawing dead. Right. Thirdly, I don't think with Cameron not being able to play in this veto, he's going to be able to play in every veto going forward pretty soon. We're coming up about that time.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get Cameron out, this was your prime opportunity. So she had to do it now. And
you did see Corey and Matt and Jag talk about the fact that we need to get rid of Cameron sooner rather than later because we're getting to a point where he can win out.
Yes. And lastly, with Bowie being a non-threat, if you're doing what the house wants on your HOH, you can go back into the shadows and nobody's going to be too concerned about you.
But I think she would have been the same if they got rid of Sari.
No, because they wouldn't have voted out Sari.
They would have voted out Felicia.
Right, but she wanted Sari to go.
But either way, she could have gone back in the shadows and nobody really would have thought anything of it.
Sari would have been looking at her. And in turn, Matt and Blue and them would have been looking at her because they would have came for Sari.
I guess.
And another thing that's a part of that same thing that I'm saying, though, is that by Bowie doing what the house wanted, it shows that she's a team player, and it allowed her to. She's already in with Cormerica. She's already in with the Minutemen, and now she's going to be in with the Mamas, the bookends, the Mamas, because she put them up. And this was always getting Cameron out, took care of that. They're not even looking at Bowie Jane.
Yeah,
as a problem. And I feel like it allowed her to position herself in a better final position with this move.
Right.
At least getting to the end. There's even more people looking at her to get to the end. With that being said, we get to like Cameron's campaigning. And the man tried, but nobody was listening.
Unfortunately for Cameron, nobody trusts him at this point. He's been too chaotic throughout the season. He was making great points. But if no one's going to listen to you, it doesn't matter. Because you saw it perfectly a little bit later in the episode when Cameron told all of these things to Blue. And she's like, I want to hear it. But then when Sari says the exact same things to Blue,
she literally says it hits a little differently coming from Sari.
Yeah, and it's because no one trusts Cameron. Like, he was drawn dead when he was on the block this time because nobody wanted to keep him. He did not have the votes because the two people that he was counting on to save him orchestrated his demise.
Correct. And as it broke down, I loved when his conversation with Corey. And Corey, he's like, it hinges on getting Blue and Felicia to flip. And she says, I find it hard to believe that you're going to get them to flip, just like I find it hard to believe you're going to get me to flip. Like, I'm voting you out.
It's not happening.
Like, it's not happening, bro. And I felt like that was a great move by Corey, just being upfront and honest, because it doesn't matter. Cameron can't do anything. There's no offensive he can mount to try to change things. Because not only is Cameron trying to save himself, he has to campaign against Sari. And one thing we got on this episode last night was a whole segment of how Sari is back in everyone's good graces.
Sari is the master of these games. I don't get it. But it's the reason I don't get it is because I've watched Sari in all these games. And if I was in the house with Sari, I'd be like, we have to get rid of Sari because she's too good at these. And I don't want to sit next to her at the end because we all know if she gets to the end, she's going to win.
My favorite is you have said this all season long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only way that this is how you would have to go. You specifically. Sari comes up to you. You have to go, no, ma'am. You, ma'am, do not talk to me. Do not make me feel good about myself or about my life. Do not. I know you. devil woman. I know how good you are. You do not. I know you're talking. I can't hear you. Do not talk to me. It's the only way that she would be able to get through it, because she was on the outs of outs. She says in this episode, a couple weeks ago, if I was sitting on the block, I'd be a dead woman walking. But right now I'm sitting next to Karen, and I ain't really have a care in the world.
Yeah, she didn't even need to pack. She was fine.
You feel me?
It was crazy. Like, I just don't understand the Cirie magic, because I've watched her spin it in real time, and that shit would work on me too.
Right, I'm glad. Finally.
And this is the worst part, that shit would work on me, and then she would walk away, and I'd be like, she's too good. We got to get rid of her, because that shit's working.
Shake your head.
No.
Oh man, she's so good, and it's because she has like she's sitting there, she's looking like she's not trying no more. Made many comments about wanting to go home, being done with this shit, ready to go. And then she says in the DR, I'm playing dead. And you're like, oh.
And it's funny because they're all going to be like, well, man, Cirie doesn't even want to be here, so let's just take her to the end and then we can beat her.
Correct.
Nope.
That's exactly. I mean,
nope. That's how you lose.
Jag and Matt are over here. I want to bring Cirie to the end with Bowie. And Cirie's like, I mean, I guess. And then she turns around to Blue. We got to get their asses. Like, that is it. Like,
and Cirie's like, and by we, I mean you, because I can't get any blood on my hands while we do it.
It's so good. And she's like, listen, Blue, Cameron just told me a bunch of shit. He's going to talk to you. Listen to him. Just listen to him.
It's crazy because last week we literally talked, like, we did who do we think wins at the end, and I had Matt at 1 and I had Cirie at 2. But if Matt is sitting next to Cirie, I don't know if he wins. Like, that's the crazy thing. I think Matt beats everyone else. I don't necessarily know if Cirie beats everyone else, but I think she does.
I think she does.
I just think Matt's more likely to get to the end than her.
If Cirie's in the end, she for sure has Felicia and Blue's votes.
Yep. And probably Cameron's at this point.
She'll definitely have Corey's vote, I think.
Yes.
Because of just a pure respect situation. And then she's got to pull one more, whether it be America, whether it be Cameron, whether it be Bowie.
I think at this point in the game, she gets Cameron's vote because of how Cameron went out.
Listen, first off, in the chat, Don says, Cirie plays I Give Up. What can I do about it now? And it works. What a wild strategy. Tracy in the chat says, Cirie wins against anyone. And I think she does. I've been saying it from the jump. The moment that this woman turned around in the house, I said she won the whole damn thing.
And I've been saying from the jump, they need to get rid of her if they want to win. No,
you've been saying from the jump that you want her to have adversity. She had it an easy way, and then you said I wanted it to be hard for her, and I said I don't know why. And now it's hard, and she's still doing well. She had to pivot, change the game up, and it's kind of working.
Here's the thing. It didn't have to be hard for her. Big Brother just hadn't put her stupid son in the house.
Now, here in the chat, Ed said if Cirie wins, it has nothing to do with gameplay, to be honest. I strongly disagree with you, Ed.
I strongly disagree with that, too, because it's a social game, and nobody is playing a better social game than Cirie.
Correct. This game is a social strategy game. That's how these games work. They're not about challenge. If you want challenges, MTV has a show that comes on right after this show, Big Brother. It's called The Challenge USA. It comes on CBS. That show's about physical challenges. Ed says Jared crippled her early, and that's why she even more deserved to win. Because that dumb MF messed up her game. He tried as much as he said. Man. But
have you ever gone swimming with all your clothes on? Because that's what Cirie was doing with Jared. It's like somebody's in a wetsuit and you're in there in jeans and a hoodie.
Have you ever gone swimming with all your clothes on and then someone jumped on your back while you're in the pool?
And the
That
lifeguard's over there eating popcorn, staring at the whole thing.
that was Serena with Jared, man. But she seemed to have pivoted and pivoted so well that she's in absolutely no danger of going home here or anytime soon.
So I keep saying like I want Suri to win. Don't get me wrong. I love Suri too. I don't see how Suri goes out before 5 at this point. And that's crazy to me.
Correct.
And if
Everybody's on her side.
and if she can't and if she doesn't go out before 5, it's not that far from 2.
Yes. Because I don't think she goes home before 4.
Yeah.
It's good to have Sri on your side, which is why I would have went in there and been like Izzy. Me and Izzy, we would have been new Fields family members. Kevin Fields. I would have been very happy about this and had no fucking problems with it. No problems whatsoever. CJ over saying he would have got to get her out. I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm riding with you.
And this is why like if I was at the house, I never would have won this season, because I would have made it a point to be like, we have to, like, this is nothing against Sari the person, but we cannot win next to her. And she has too many friends. So I would have been gone, because I would have been saying, like, at some point we got to get rid of Sari. And I would have won an HOH, and I would have put Sari up on the block, or I would have tried to backdoor her, and then the house would have been like, cool, but the other person is going home.
Yeah. And then we got to go after CJ. And I would turn to Sari and said, we got to go after him for you, to protect you. We got to protect the queen. We got to do everything at all costs, Sari.
And that's the shitty thing for some of these people in the house, is like, similar to the cookout season, although for way different reasons, you're most likely only getting one shot to be in the Big Brother house. And for reasons beyond anybody's control in the game, you just don't have a shot.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I say that is like, there were people in the house this year that sacrificed their game to protect Sari, the same way that there were members of the cookout that sacrificed their game to make sure that we got a black winner.
Mm-hmm. You got to do what you got to do to make sure we got what happens.
Yep.
And Sari winning is what we got to do. Now, Izzy would have jumped on a grenade if necessary. She got pushed into a grenade. Jared, that's totally different situation. There was a mine right there. He pushed her into the landmine.
Not only did he push her on the landmine, he walked over her.
Yeah.
He stepped on her back while she's lying on it, being like, let's just make sure this thing triggers.
It's ridiculous. But Sari's here. She's in a great spot. We get to this point where Cameron is giving information. I loved that Cameron's like, let me see if I can fuck up Matt and Jack's games.
On my way out.
Yeah. Blue's not really taking it. But Sari says, okay, this is some good info to have. We get to the eviction, and Cameron goes home 6-0. Everyone hits Julie, tells her she's exquisite, starting with Sari on down the line. Got some chuckles from the in-studio audience. Loved it. I hope they come up with a new word. I hope they have a new word next week. Word of the week. It was funny. I enjoyed it.
It was real fun. And nobody's ever done that before.
I don't think so. I
thought it was hilarious. Like, the wife was like, how come they don't have all the fun dances like they used to have in the hallway before? I was like, they probably don't have a choreographer this season like they've had in seasons past. But they came up with a word of the week. I liked it.
Yeah, each house has a different vibe, a different feeling. Cameron didn't get any goodbye messages. I don't know that they didn't have any for him. I don't know that they had nothing to say to him.
I mean, if you can't say something nice.
I don't know if they think that he already got him. Do you think they give him an option? They're like, I already told him one like last time. So
yeah. Well, it's funny because like the one thing that I really do like about Cameron is that all season he has been able to differentiate personal relationships from game, and that not everyone has been able to do that as they've played. And you saw him when he said his goodbyes after he got voted out. You know, he was like, respect the move, good game, hope to see you on the outside. Like, I think he was just like, I got outplayed. It is what it is. Hopefully I'll get to play again.
Yeah, and they gave him this week, they gave him no crack in the door. Nobody gave him hope. No one gave him hope. I loved that. Nobody tried to say maybe we could mount an offensive. They just told him, listen, man, just enjoy it. Just enjoy your last couple of days.
which very rarely happens,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with this group. This group has
There
been
was
very
there was
wishy-washy.
not even an almost wishy-washy Wednesday. Everything was straightforward. Cameron was going home. Now, Ed says here in the chat, he's not a live feeder, and he didn't seem like that bad of a guy for everyone to hate him. Here's the thing, Ed. If everybody's wanted him out since week 2, he's been on the block or a either a target or in power. Yeah. If that's the case, there was things he was doing in that house that were not vibing with the rest of the cast members. And that was throughout the time he was in the house.
I know for a lot of the women, he was condescending and came across as sexist, which is a big problem with a majority of the house being women.
Correct. So those are things America found him uncomfortable. Things like that. It's not going to fly. It just isn't.
Yeah.
So those are the reasons why he ended up going home. Now, Dawn says she felt like they disliked him because he was direct. He was truthful about gameplay and he won a lot. Him winning was another reason they wanted him to go. Yes, but a lot of them just didn't like him as a person.
Yeah, there was definitely some personality conflict that you ran into with him that you don't necessarily see with other people when they get voted out.
Because you mentioned how Cameron was direct. Felicia's very direct, and they think it's funny. And they answer her questions, but they don't find it off-putting. And that's why it's a little different. Plus, Cameron's not trustworthy. And I said it during his first HOH week, right after the red vote. The way he went about that week is not going to endear him to people.
Yeah.
I said that on this very show.
His second one, Cameron's Week of Chaos.
Yeah. Is by him doing the things he did the way he did. That's right. His second one.
Yeah.
Not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
And it's something you've laid out over the course of the season. We've talked about you use your HOH to better position yourself in the game. And that second HOH, when he told everyone that, Nom is saying the same, it's Jag and Blue, whatever. And then he puts up Izzy and Felicia. And now he's lied to everyone in the house. And when you're HOH, it's the one time you don't have to lie.
Right.
And you could actually tell the truth. So now nobody trusts you.
You use that time to use the information you have and this information you're gathering so that way you could better position yourself. And for you to the fact that you were speaking in code, not just lying, but you're saying it's going to be shock and awe. It's going to be, I got a lot of grenades I'm ready to throw out. You're not giving anyone any information. You're a wild card. I can't trust that. I can't work with that.
Especially because if you're a wild card, not only do I not trust you, but if I did align with you, there's a very high risk chance you're going to blow up my game with yours.
Yeah, correct. And so gameplay wise, that's why we couldn't keep Cameron in the game. He wins too many comps, and I don't know what he's going to do when he wins. I thought this last HOH was his best HOH because he was trying to work with the fugitives, and I thought that was a good move for him to at least attempt to do something, but at that point it was already too late. The first chance you got to get him out, you had to take it, and they took it here. So with that being said, Cameron's evicted, and we find out this next coming week is comic book week. So we're getting BB Comics.
Yes. And BB Comics is always one of my favorite competitions.
Yeah.
Not because I could do it, but because I just love the comics that they come up with.
They released some of the comics. I don't have them ready. We'll have them on the Monday show.
I haven't had a chance to see them yet. But are we going into spoilers now?
We will in a moment. It's BB Comics weeks. There will be an invisible HOH.
Very excited for this.
Invisible HOH. So someone's going to win the HOH. No one knows who's going to be. It's going to be exciting. And then from what it sounds like, there's going to be 2 vetoes, double vetoes to be used. So the veto holder will have 2 chances to take down up to 2 people, which is also exciting. So hopefully with the secret HOH and these vetoes, we're going to get something super duper interesting.
I'm really excited for this week. I'm not always for the twist, but I think these twists can really help further someone's game because there's so many pairs in the house right now.
It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see what's going on. This is where we're going to get into spoilers right now. So if you don't want to know who the possible HOH winner is, if you want to wait to get up out of here. You can find CJ at the Keyboard Sarcasm. You can find CJ. You can find myself at KG Fury, because we're about to get into these spoilers. It's going to be exciting. End of the game. Remember, get subscribed. CJ, got any final parting words before we get into spoilers?
Get up out of here, because
okay. Thank you for joining us. You got 20 seconds to get up out of here if you're leaving. Make sure you join us back again on Monday for the 5 p.m.ers to go over everything that happens over the weekend here in the Big Brother house. Thank y'all for joining us. Give you guys a couple more seconds to get up out of here. All right, CJ. I think they're out of here.
Finally.
You guys ready for spoilers on who could possibly be the secret HOH?
Because that secret HOH cannot keep their mouth shut.
Right, it's Jag. It's Jag is the HOH. It's Jag. Jag is the HOH. Do you know who knows Jag is the HOH?
Everybody.
He told Matt. He told Matt. He told Corey in America. He told Bowie that he's the HOH.
Mind you, there are 8 people in the house, and 5 people know who the secret HOH is 18 hours after the competition.
It's better. Last night, they told them the times of the HOH winner. Because the HOH competition was BB Comics. They had the hang glide. They had the swing on the thing. Taryn was going off on the feeds on the live feed update this morning because Jag did it in a time of 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Which is insane.
America got it in one shot, and it took her a little over 10 minutes.
That's crazy.
So she did it on her first try. It took her 10 minutes. But because Jag is a dude and was going faster, he said to Matt last night, bro, I was flying. I would go down there, and if I had it wrong, I just had to go and change it. I was flying. So I'm sure there's a hang glide thing that they have to jump into and then do the comics. The moment they got to the house, it immediately X'd out Felicia and Suri, because they all knew what the comp was, and they said, America said to Corey, I got it in one shot, and it took me 10 minutes, and the winner took 8 minutes and 30 seconds. There's no way it was Suri or Felicia.
Yeah, it had to have been Jag or Matt.
Had to be. That was figured out last night. Yeah. Then they gave everybody what their times. Well, they didn't tell everybody what the times were. They put on the board what the times were. Jag wouldn't say what his time was. Everyone else was like, "Oh, 11:06. That was me."
Yeah.
10:30. So because they knew they didn't win, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So Jag didn't say nothing to nobody. He looks at the camera about 5 minutes after the feeds come back on, and Corey left the room. He says, to the cameras. And with Secret HOH, man, you can make some big moves. Do you know who he wants to put up?
His ally Blue.
He wants to put up Blue and Felicia. That's his plan. That's his plan right now.
If there was ever a time to take that shot at Corey in America that everyone keeps talking about, it would be right now.
Yep. But Jag wants to put up his ally, and he's trying to blame it on Blue, and he's trying to blame it on Corey in America, which is interesting. Yeah. He's trying to paint them as a target,
which is dumb because, as you talked about, if everyone knows the times, I'm looking at who's in the house. I'm like, Corey in America didn't do that in
8:30. Exactly.
And not to be a sexist or to doubt their physical ability, but I've watched enough Big Brother to know that 8 minutes and 30 seconds for BB Comics is lightning fast.
It is. I just looked officially. Blue and Felicia are on the block. Then there's going to be a veto. It's probably going to be physical. Blue's probably going home.
It is what it is at this
It,
point.
like, John had a great question. Why are they letting America and Corey slide? I don't know, man. Jag is a terrible, like Ed said, he's such a great player. Not. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Why are you telling everybody the secret HOH? Why?
If he didn't tell a soul, and he did Corey in America, they're still going to point at him and Matt, but they might think it's Blue. They might.
I don't know why they made this such a physical HOH when you're going to make it a secret. It's got to be something that's like luck based or something.
Yeah.
And nobody can know who did it.
Yeah, because if you do a question comp here, it's a lot harder to deduce who won than this. Or if you do like how they normally do tiny veto, if you do a tiny HOH, where instead of pulling the veto, you pull a house key that's small.
Or you do like that. You have that other room, and I mean the views can go to like 3 a.m. You'd go into another room, in the other room, and each person goes one by one, and they're on lockdown. No one knows who won.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Jag is awful because he can't keep his mouth shut. If you tell that many people, it's going to get back to the people on the block who did it. And that's what's going to be the fun thing this weekend, is when Blue eventually finds out that Jag put her up, she's going to lose her shit.
Blue's going to find out before this weekend. She'll probably find out by the end of the day. He told the other people. They haven't told Suri yet officially, but Suri told Felicia last night when Jag left the room after talking to the two of them. She said Jag won that shit.
Yeah.
And Jag's like, and she's like, how do you know? She said, how do you know? And she's like, when I asked him what his time was, he said 11 minutes flat. And nobody had like a flat time. And he was dodgy with the questions. He won that shit.
That's funny.
So, with Jag being the new HOH, I mean, secret HOH, whatevs.
It's not secret if everyone knows.
Not so secret HOH.
Like, he might as well just walk around with a crown on.
I was so excited, but this is trash.
So mad. I'd also be upset if I was a secret HOH, because then I couldn't sleep in the HOH room for a week.
Yeah. But apparently he gets to play in next week's HOH competition, maybe. That's what he's saying. That's what he said to Matt last season, or on season 20 when they had it, or season 23 when they had a secret HOH. Claire had to throw in the comp, so
yeah.
Who knows when she was a secret HOH, even though Tiffany ran that week. Claire had to throw in the comp.
True.
But because really Tiffany was a secret HOH, but no one knew that. But
Tiffany was in charge of that house from day 10.
What a great season, BB23.
Yeah.
But that's where we had. That's all the spoilers I got so far. Nothing really eventful happened because of the secret HOH thing. Oh, he did tell Bowie she might have to go as a pawn, and she immediately was like, "That's not a good idea. I do not want to go up as a pawn at all."
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the scramble, because that's kind of what you should be doing. So instead of I'm gonna put you up as a pawn, you should be like, "How about we don't do that?"
Well, but all Bowie has to say is, so you tell me last week we have a final 3 when I'm HOH, and now you're telling me you want me to be a pawn? Yeah. How does that help me trust you?
It doesn't track, fam.
Yeah.
Doesn't track.
Cool. I'm going to go over here to these other people in the house and say you can't trust Jag, and here's why.
Yep. It is what it is, though. We are going to be back. That's all the spoilers I got. There's not really much that has happened. I think we're going to have some more information come Monday when we find out what happens when Blue finds out. I think that's going to be the fun part. Yep. If Blue wins the veto and takes herself down, I think he puts up Corey. That's my assumption right this moment, but based on almost nothing. I know that he doesn't want Felicia. I mean, I know he doesn't want Suri or Bowie to go home, so I don't think they're going to touch the block.
Yeah, I think whoever sits next to Felicia goes home, unless it's Suri.
I think today, if Blue were to win and take herself down, I think today is the day that the AmeriCorps versus the Minutemen has to start. and
Yeah.
Jack has to take the first shot.
Uh-huh. But I really do think that anyone who sits next to Felicia, with the exception of Sari, would go home.
Yeah, more than likely. Or Bowie. Bowie doesn't go home either.
I don't know.
Matt votes to keep Bowie. America and Corey vote to keep Bowie.
I guess that's true because Felicia is not working with Corey in America, but Bowie is.
Correct.
And you only need 3 votes to stay at this point.
Correct. So it's going to lead to an interesting end of the game this week. Already boring, but
I mean, unfortunately, that's just, we're getting to that point in the season where the lines are drawn in the sand and there's not a whole lot.
That's not even it. It's the secret HOH part. That's the part that messed things up.
But it's not a secret because Jack told everybody.
Yep. But other than that, thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Monday. Have a good night, guys. Oh, coming to you from outside the Big Brother house. Have a good night.
You guys look exquisite.